What's going on, everybody? This is Lady Luck here again. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys see the title of the video. Leticia James being indicted. I know this is not like breaking news that happened today, but I wanted to make sure I had my, ducks lined up in a row before I did this video. First, you had James Comey. Then there's this Fulton County Superior Court judge in Atlanta, Georgia, that has been unanimously voted by the JQC hearing panel to be removed from the bench. And now you have Leticia James. See, this is why it doesn't pay to lie. All right, y'all, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the Lady Luck Club. Of course, I have the court documents because, it's the only way to go here in the LLC. And hit the like button on this video because we are just dropping the facts. This is something else to have this type of indictment. And over what? I mean, what's worse? Leticia James has, of course, being the attorney general, filed complaints against companies that deserve it. And it's about to have all of that pulled into question because of her reckless behavior. And it's just such a, hard pill to swallow. It's disingenuous. And one of those, companies that really, I don't even want to call it a company. It was a crypto scam called Novatech FX. I have a whole playlist on my channel for Novatech. And she filed a complaint against Novatech. It is a crypto scam. It was shut down, rightfully so. Over $1.2 billion was scammed from people internationally. So the complaint was justified and warranted. But you can imagine the headache of her being indicted can now cause on other cases that she has brought forth as the attorney general to the court. And it's like, damn it, Leticia. You couldn't just tell the truth about this. What was it too much to ask for you to tell the truth and shame the devil? So let's get to it, you guys. We have Politico. Hit the like button on this video, share the video, and subscribe to the Lady Luck Club. We are growing here. And I just want to thank all of you all and thank God above for, the blessed opportunity to be able to, share this information with you all. You guys could be watching and listening to anyone else, but you chose to click on this video. And I am forever grateful for that. So as you all can see from Politico.com, Leticia James pursued Trump. Then she was indicted because, Trump go hard. The Democratic New York Attorney General made her investigation of the Republican president a centerpiece of her campaign. How about just making the pursuit of justice the centerpiece of your campaign? I mean, come on. So Leticia James' 2-count federal indictment is a crescendo in her bitter legal battle with President Donald Trump. You guys were just reading the article information here. The Democratic New York Attorney General for years made Trump a focal point of her high profile cases in her office against his family's business empire, the culmination of a 2018 campaign pledge to pursue the Republican president, whom she called illegitimate. Now the roles have been reversed. Trump's DOJ is driving ahead with a mortgage fraud case against James that a U.S. attorney considered too flimsy to prosecute. The charges were then initiated by Trump's hand-picked prosecutor in Virginia. The corrosive fight has served the political purposes of both James, the first Black woman elected to statewide office in New York, and a president who insisted an array of Democrats have conducted lawfare against him and his allies. And James stands to receive a massive boost from her Democratic allies in this deep blue state as she runs for a third term next year. In a video statement soon after the indictment was made public, James blasted the move as a further weaponization of the justice system by Trump during his second term. She stood by her office's case against the Trump organization in a civil suit stemming from the company overstating the value of its assets. Of course, they conducted a 2-year investigation based on the facts and evidence, not politics. Judges have upheld the trial court's finding that Donald Trump, his company, and his two sons are liable for fraud. James is just the latest Trump foe to face the wrath of the president's Department of Justice, a list that includes former FBI Director James Comey and will likely grow in the coming weeks. Trump, who has called James a racist and accused her of conducting a witch hunt against him, has long decried the Attorney General who ran on what he called a Get Trump platform. Y'all, I'm not gonna read the whole article, but as you guys can see, Politico has a lot to say about it. What I want to do though is get to the actual indictment itself because we got it. We got to pull it up. We got to do it. It's 5 pages total. And I just, this is something that's fun for me. I enjoy reading court documents. So let's get to it. In the United States District Court, Eastern District of Virginia, Norfolk Division, criminal number 25 CR, C is in cat, R is in rat, 122. The United States of America versus Leticia A. James, defendant. Count 1, bank fraud. Count 2, false statements to a financial institution. And criminal forfeiture is being requested here. Basically, they're going to take away all her assets and freeze her accounts and stuff. Indictment, October 2025 term at Alexandria, Virginia. The grand jury charges that general allegations at all times relevant to this indictment. Leticia James was a resident of Brooklyn, New York, and the borrower on a Fannie Mae backed mortgage loan for the property located at 3121 Perone Avenue, Norfolk, Virginia. So Fannie Mae is expensive. Their interest rates are high as hell either way. And why are you, being the attorney general, you're a lawyer, you're an attorney, you went to law school, why would you want to put down any information on any bank document or any document at all where you are not telling the truth? Period. You make it easier for people to want to come after you when you're falsifying information on bank documents. What was it worth it? Is my thing. Because it doesn't seem like it was worth it. Especially with Fannie Mae. They get sued all the time for, being leeches. This is insane. OVM Financial, also known as Old Virginia Mortgage / Annie Mac, was a mortgage lending business located in Virginia Beach, Virginia, engaged in the business of originating and underwriting residential mortgage loans, including those backed by the Federal National Mortgage Association, Fannie Mae. OVM Financial qualified as a financial institution with the meaning of 18 U.S.C. Statute 20, Sub 10. Fannie Mae was a federally chartered corporation that purchased and mortgaged guaranteed mortgages, operating as a government-sponsored enterprise under the oversight of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, FHFA. First Savings Bank was a state-chartered FDIC-insured financial institution, certificate number 29961, headquartered in Jeffersonville, Indiana, which required mortgage loans through assignment or acquisition. First Savings Bank qualified as a financial institution under the same statute, 18 U.S.C. Statute 20, Sub 1. On or about August 17, 2020, James, a sole borrower, purchased a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom property. Why you didn't get a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house? Why does it only have 1 bathroom for 3 rooms? I never understood that, y'all. I never understood the aspect of getting a home. If you have 3 bedrooms, you should at least have 2 full bathrooms. Seriously, 1 bathroom? You can't make this up. All right, moving on. It seems so incomplete. All right, 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom property located at 3121 Perone Avenue. Perone Avenue. I hope I'm saying it right. Norfolk, Virginia, 23509. For approximately $137,000, financed with a mortgage loan of approximately $109,600. And then they have the loan number here, 443-0025978, backed by Fannie Mae. The loan was originated by OVM Financial under a signed second home rider, which required James, as the sole borrower, to occupy and use the property as her secondary residence and prohibited its use as a time-sharing or other shared ownership arrangement or agreement that requires her requires her either to rent the property or give any other person any control over the occupancy or use of the property. Sounds simple enough. I mean, just use it as your second house. God. Despite these representations, the Perone property was not occupied or used by James as a secondary resident and was instead used as a rental investment property, renting the property to a family of three. Why would you do that? Leticia James, you had to have read the fine print. I mean, listen, I don't get into the politics of things because at the end of the day, when you stand before God, and I say this all the time because I want people to understand that being a Democrat or Republican does not get you into heaven. When you stand before God on Judgment Day, He will not be asking you who you voted for or what political platform you lean towards. That is irrelevant to God. I am A4 American. So when it comes down to it, if you read the fine print and the terms and conditions of that loan, follow it. You're an attorney. The last thing you should want to do is go against what the actual document says you should and should not do. It was prohibited for you to use it to use it as any rental property whatsoever or give any other person any control over it. But then you turn around and you rent it out to a family of three. Girl, this misrepresentation allowed James to obtain favorable loan terms not available for investment properties, including a note rate of 3%, avoiding a 0.815% higher comparable investment property rate of 3.815%. It wasn't even worth it. Okay, it's not 3%, you would have to pay 3.815%. If that's what you have to pay, Leticia James, to stay honest with all of this, then pay it, resulting in approximately $17,837 in rate savings over the life of the loan. Girl, you saved 17 grand. You didn't even hit 20. A seller credit of approximately $3,288, exceeding the seller credit for investment properties by approximately $1,096, for a total ill-gotten gains of approximately $18,933 over the life of the loan. You didn't even hit 20 grand, Leticia James. This was not worth it. I mean, it wasn't worth it for any amount of money. But for you to do this for something less than $20,000, oh, James' universal property application for homeowners insurance indicated owner occupied non-seasonal use, further misrepresenting the intended use of the property. James filed Schedule E tax forms under penalties of perjury, treating the Perone property as rental real estate, reporting fair rental days, zero personal use days, thousands of dollars in rents received, and claiming deductions for expenses relating to the property, further contradicting the second home classification. Because she's an attorney that went to law school. Oh, God. The loan was acquired by or assigned to First Savings Bank by March 2021, exposing it to risk associated with the misrepresented loan. The acts described herein occurred within the Eastern District of Virginia. Count one, bank fraud. Because obvious. 18 USC Statute 1344. The allegations in paragraph 1 through 12 are realleged and incorporated herein from on or about August 7, 2020 through at least January 24 in the Eastern District of Virginia and elsewhere. The defendant, Leticia A. James, did knowingly execute and attempt to execute a scheme to artifice to defraud OVM Financial and First Savings Bank financial institutions and to obtain monies, funds, and credits owned by and under the custody and control of OVM Financial and First Savings Bank by means of false and fraudulent pretenses, representations, and promises. It was not worth the 20 grand. As opposed to her paying that little $18,900. She calls herself saving that and then being able to get further deductions and credits on her taxes. You can't make this stuff up. Let me tell you something right now. Leticia James, none of this helps at all when you can't explain it. Just saying that, oh, they're coming after me. That's not good enough. Oh, Lord have mercy. The scheme involved falsely representing the Perone property as a secondary resident to obtain favorable mortgage terms while using it as an investment property with no intended or actual personal occupancy or use by her, in violation of Title 18 U.S. Code Section 1344. Count two, false statements to a financial institution, because that's a federal law. 18 U.S.C. Statute 1014. So they are realleging paragraphs 1 through 12 from on or about July 28, 2020 through at least August 31, 2020. Y'all, they're going back to 2020 here. It's the year of our Lord 2025. Leticia James, this is what happens when, you know, you say you're going to sit here and make your whole career about going after somebody. And they just do a little bit of digging. And, it doesn't matter how old it is. It's the fact that you did it. I mean, and it's not even explainable. I'm just reporting the facts here, people. Oh, Lord. In the Eastern District of Virginia and elsewhere, the defendant did knowingly make and cause to be made false statements and reports for the purposes of influencing the action of OVM Financial, a Fannie Mae backed lender, upon an application for a loan in that James represented and affirmed in uniform residential loan applications and related documents that the Perone property would be used as a second residence, which in truth and fact, as James then knew, the property was intended and used as an investment property with no intended or actual personal occupancy or use by her. So thereby violating Title 18 of U.S. Code 1014, forfeiture notice, pursuant to Federal Rule of Criminal Procedure 32.2a and Title 18 USC Statute 982A2A. Upon conviction of the offenses in counts 1 and 2, the defendant, Leticia A. James, shall forfeit to the United States any property constituting or derived from proceeds obtained directly or indirectly as a result of such violations, including but not limited to a money judgment in the amount of $18,933, because she thought she was saving that money when she could have paid it. How much does she make? Leticia James, let me tell you something. When you earn over six figures, I can't fathom why you would want to try to dodge $18,000. You're the attorney general for New York. She has to be making well over $150,000 easy without batting an eyelash. It was not worth this. Just do the right thing. My goodness. If any of the property described above as a result of any act or omission of the defendant, A, cannot be located upon the exercise of due diligence, B, has been transferred or sold to or deposited with a third party, C, has been placed beyond the jurisdiction of the court, D, has been substantially diminished in value, or E, has been commingled with other property which cannot be divided without difficulty, the United States shall be entitled to a forfeiture of substitute property pursuant to Title 21 U.S.C. Statute 853B as in boy, as incorporated by Title 18 U.S.C. Statute 982B as in boy 1. So that means if you dare think to try to sell this property, or somehow it becomes diminished in value, or you commingle it with something else, you do anything weird, we're going to take something of equal value. Anything that would be a great substitution, because that's how the FBI operates. And let's not forget about the IRS in this, people. Like, if she forged all of those tax documents or lied on them about this property and got all of those credits and deductions on her tax documents, the IRS is not for play. They locked up Al Capone and he murdered people. Why even risk this? So here are all the laws down here that they're saying that she's possibly violated, or she's alleging that she's violated. A true bill, redacted copy, signed by the foreperson. Lindsay Halligan, United States Attorney. They told her, kick rocks. All right. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. Why is it that it's always the people that have these six-figure incomes, probably got 2 or 3 other sources of income, doing stuff like this, when you get hardworking people like myself? I mean, I'm practically working 2 jobs right now and still just trying to stay above water here. Oh my God. All right. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate all of you all's support. Hit that like button for me and make sure you share this content, subscribe to the Lady Luck Club. And of course, if you would like to donate to the channel, you can send a cash app to Lady Luck Club LLC. It's scrolling below on the screen there. I also have Zelle. And there's always a super. And I appreciate it. It goes back to the channel. And unlike, Leticia James, I'm not trying to swindle anybody out of $18,933, even though Lord knows what I could do with $18,933. Oh, God. Let a money tree grow in my backyard, please, Jesus. Okay. That's all I got, you guys. Thank you so much. And until the next one, Lady Luck Club out. Deuces.